Here we are. Welcome. Uh, Facebook, YouTube, Slack, Instagram. What else are we on? LinkedIn, MySpace. What else we got out there?
And live.
Live. That's it, YouTube? All right. Welcome, everybody. We are here live. And my great friend, Judy, absolutely amazing. She's going to help us through the disc test. And we're going to have some fun. Hopefully, we won't get any arguments or fights. If you do, the D's are gonna. Never mind. So, but I'm so glad y'all are here. I'm so glad you get to hear from Judy. She's absolutely amazing. She got a huge heart. She is one of the most helpful people I have in my life. She'll always answer the phone, answer every stupid loan question I got because I don't understand the points. All that stupid. She'll explain it to me though. She's absolutely amazing. So please give it up for Judy Wang.
Hello. So my name is Judy. Most of you know me. So I am mostly doing loans, mortgage, residential or commercial. So I previously had experience in business coaching, and that's where I learned and being certified for debriefed on DISC profile behavior assessment. And the more I use it, when I started learning this and the more I use and learn about it, and I find that's helpful for me to communicate, understand others, and without less judgment and less anxiety and frustration. So I feel that, it's very helpful in this business. So that's why I'm, always willing to share. And for me, that this is not, I don't want it to be like a one-time thing, that I want you guys to talk about it with your team, with your family member, with friends, and then that will help you learn when you understand and see the related to the people that you know, and that help you understand more. And anytime you have question, I'm more than willing to talk about it. Doesn't have to be real estate. So, and because I think that will, by you learning this, and then, when you start interacting with your client, you understand their behavior, understand their thoughts behind it. So it helps you. I hope that it helps a little more, in the transaction to be less frustrating for you and for the client. So, and let's get started. And so, I mean, most of you, I know that you have taken the test and you know what you are. So do you mind? I want this to be interactive because it's not just me talking, it's I want you guys to actually learn it. So since this for DISC, 4 different group, so can I have people who have high D over here and I and S and C in the back? Yes. The first one, the dominate. That would be your dominate style. Can I have D here, I here, and S and C? And you're gonna have multiple, as you said, but you're dominant. D I S C. So what are you? You're D, high D. D. Okay. D. Okay. We have 2D. I, and you. I. Daniel is I. This is S. High S. And I don't have C today. Okay.
There are two conscious that come.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it. So interesting. So now high D. No, we're gonna go down the road. Just a little bit description. High D, you're, very direct. Talk. It depends on your level as well. If you're like 60%, 70%, 80%, so you can see, D can be demanding, driven, forceful, in competitive and determined. So that's how you are. But sometimes because you're forceful, that it's good in trying to push the transaction along, push things along. You have a goal, you want to achieve that. But the thing is that you may be too forceful, that put people off. That, people be taken off by how you approach it. It could be a little softer.
That's when I'm glad I have some I, S, and C in me.
Right. So that's why we all have, all four style has some score. It's just which one is more dominant, which one comes out more, and which one, still there. And then, like, if you have, mine is like this. I'm a high D as well, so that's why you see I'm really wearing red. And so, but I have lower C, and lower C, you see how I can be independent, I can be rebellious at times, and I can be careless. So those are the things that can come out, although I'm high D, but it come out high C sometimes when I'm stressed. So that's what high D is. And in high I, we have majority of group here as also high S. So high I, you're like interactive, you're very sociable, but you can talk about anything. But the thing is that you get distracted easily. So you can be talking on something and supposed to focus on it, and then you get distracted and then go talk about something else, and then so that's where if you join us, D, S, and C.
If you touch the disc, yeah, I did.
Would
D and C
equally, and then you can see a C since we don't have a C,
We don't have anybody in the C.
and then I'll talk about D and C. Yeah, it's I is over here. So you can be distracted. So people who around you, you want to have someone that can bring you back. And also when you talking to a client too, that they, but that's a strength. That the strength that when you start talking about, I help this person buying, selling, and doing this and that, your story, it's what bring them in as building trust with you. And that's what high D we may need a little more, is to, instead of go direct to the end goal where, like, do you want to buy or sell now? But whether you can talk about all these other things, not necessarily talking about that. And then at the end, you want to bring that at the end, then they will be able to trust you more. And so that's where, because a D is task oriented, I is people oriented. So you love people and you love complete a task. You're problem solving. So because you have other probably
I'm very high in I also. So
right. So that can
D is the prominent one.
And D and I, you are we are moving shakers. You move and shake with people, just like how Daniel and Paul are, and you are, that using people to bring things together and to accomplish what you want to accomplish. In high D, we, like I said earlier, is that we action, just like make decision fast and just let's get moving. So that's how we are. And so with S, we have quite a bit of S here. So people who are S is very stable. They like structure and they will build a structure. But they once they build that structure, and because the reason they build that is because they don't like to change. And because they're stable and consistent, but they don't want to change. So that when they don't want to change, but the thing is that once they change, they become that change agent, that they want everybody around them to change because they don't want to change again. So, but like Paul said earlier, his wife is, so he understands her a lot, that she's very loyal. She's that support person, and she wants to work with the team. She loves to work with the team and want to be that helpful person, to have the person who have the answers. And so, but that's the thing but the thing is that with high D and I, that when you have some conflict with people or something, that you forget easily. A few minutes later, especially D, then you forget about it, and then everybody good friends. But high S, when you have higher S, then you tend to hold that grudges. taking it a little bit personal. So when you talk, if you have a client like that you want to learn how to talk to them, because if you some mistake that you made, then they might remember, or something you said that trigger them, and then they might remember you for that for a long time. And so as also it takes time for us to build that trust as well. You more trustworthy, more trusting, but as takes a little more time. Need to get to know you, need to know past experience, how everything has done. And so Tamara will not be the first person to do something. Paul will be the first person to make that decision, to make that move, and Tamara will be follow a little bit after it, because you want to see what Paul has done, if this is possible, what kind of experience, what kind of roadblock is going to come up for you to make that decision. So a slower decision maker, and same as a C. C is afraid to make mistakes, so that you want everything to be perfect. So before you make that decision and the action, and you're very analytical though. That is good when you and you're very careful. So see, you want to be so you prepare. You might prepare, take a long time to prepare before you reach out to the client and say that. But the thing is that that sometimes that might take too long. So that's something that you want to be mindful of. And so so you do things very cautiously. So but when you have your D and C, so D make decision quick, C make decision slow. So you constantly in your head playing D and C, D and C. So that's S and C. Okay. So yeah, S and C. So I mean, if I'm talking to someone D and C, which not many, but there are people D and C that fighting in their head. But S and C means that means that you making decision very slow and don't want to change and afraid of new things. So now the next thing I want to talk about is communication style. So communication style and the reason I want to break into this 4 group is I want you guys to then you tell me what your communication style is. How do you like to be? Say that do you say that if you want someone, do you like someone to help you, or do you not ask for help, or how do you ask for help?
Depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of if I see a need, meet a need, get it done myself kind of person. But I love to collaborate with people.
Mm-hmm.
But when they collaborate, they need to do their job. It drives me crazy if they don't. Like, say what you are going to do, then do what you say you're going to do.
Mm-hmm. So you're more like a doer.
I'm definitely a doer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how about I? Who wants to start as I?
All the eyes want to go at once. So since I have the microphone, I'm going to go because I want to go now. Yeah, I'll ask 5 or 6 people to join me in the decision, and I kind of already made up the decision, but I want 5 or 6 people. I want to sell it to 5 or 6 people,
Mm-hmm.
and then go hard.
Second that. I think we're talking for the helping. Most of the time, if I know I can do it by myself, I don't really ask for help. I will think I can do it better and faster. And but sometimes I feel, especially when I'm working together with others, I think that's something they need to do. It's their job.
Mm-hmm.
I will ask them to do it, and um, and I expecting them to do it well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have some D.
I guess.
Talk about work. Work is work.
If I know how to do it, I'll do it myself. But if something's like difficult that I can't figure it out, then I don't hesitate to ask to get it done quicker.
Uh-huh.
If I can ask somebody and they're going to give me the answer, then
Right.
get it done quicker. Then that's me.
So, but when you ask, how do you ask? What would you say?
Would you please help me with this?
Uh-huh.
I guess I don't know.
You would say some specific things that you
Yes,
want help with,
exactly.
and you would too ask a
I would ask
specific.
specifics, but also, what's your forte? What do you like doing? What do you enjoy doing most? What about this is easy? What about this is difficult? What part do you want to take on? But then if I ask them that and they say I'd like to do X, Y, or Z,
Uh-huh.
then do X, Y, or Z. Don't dilly-dally with it.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for offering this training to us,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
it's good as a real estate professional or in any kind of business. It's good to understand who you're communicating with, understand their personality. I guess first of all, you need to understand your personality
Yes,
and understand
for
those
sure.
you're around with. And sometimes you may blame it on the others, but not understanding them.
Right.
So that's key.
Yes.
So kind of like Paul in the group. I mean, I do make decisions, but lots of time I like to reconfirm my decision.
Uh-huh.
But one thing that Paul says, which I'm not the category of I, is I have extreme details that I need to leave out. So my
Mhm.
goal is to get to the next level and not hand holding. But this is great. Thank you, Judy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're nice.
So she see no. I mean, it's okay. So how do you like when people ask you help or when you talk to people ask for help? How do you talk
How
to
do
them?
I ask for help?
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to figure it out 1st
Mhm.
and probably take a long time to do that. And then get to the point where I'm exhausted. So then I'll ask for help. That's just me. So it's
Oh, you can pass it. And now we're in S.
okay. Have to see you.
One person needs to speak for the whole group.
I actually second her
Uh-huh.
comment because I always like to figure it out myself,
Uh-huh.
and then sometimes I'll spend too long, and my wife's like, "Hey, you gotta ask somebody or
Uh-huh.
something." But yeah, that's the way I am. I like to figure it out myself before I venture out and ask somebody.
But when you ask for help or when you ask someone or when you talk to someone, how do you normally talk? You more straightforward or you kind of
Yeah, I'm straightforward, and that's the other thing. That I'll sit there and listen to them from A to Z, even though I know like A to D, right? Because I've researched it and tried to
Mhm.
figure it out myself. So I'm still patient and listen to the whole thing.
and see that's the thing about S where see it's not just me talking. You from him talking, you understand, okay, S, is a good listener. They have patience, listen to people. Where D, we don't have the patience, listen to people and sit down and trying to analyze like her and things like that. We just listen to something 1 or 2 seconds and we're gone. We do start making things happen. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, it reminds me of some of the conversations I have with my wife. Anytime we're trying to find a place,
Mhm.
right? Oh, and we're not very sure of where it is.
Mhm.
She's like, just ask him. Like, we've not even done any research, you know? Like, it just doesn't feel right, right? So I'm like, okay, let me even try.
Uh-huh.
Give us a chance. That's what I tell. Like, before you ask somebody.
Right.
Then when I ask somebody, I'm like, okay, I've done A to D.
Uh-huh.
Like, what do you think about if we get to, like to the finish line? So sometimes people explain, and my wife is like, "Oh, why are they explaining what you already know?" But I'm like, there may be something we missed. So
Mhm.
I'm also patient listening through, to get to the finish line. So
Mhm.
yeah.
It depends. So I try to figure out myself, but I also have people that I trust that have
It's
done,
very important for us
yes,
to have that
that I
trust.
know. I just have to trust them before I reach out, and it's usually her. Um, and but I do ask questions. It just depends, like I said, because I have a husband that needs things done, and he has an idea in his head, but he doesn't like to share exactly what that is. And so I do ask a lot of questions because I want it to look like what he has in his head, and I'm not a mind reader. So And so that's where, no, what I'm not saying that to call him out, but so that's why I say it depends on the situation, because especially for you guys, y'all aren't mind readers either. So you don't, like, if I say I want to buy a house, okay, and I just leave it at that. You see what I'm saying? You have to know what the person wants.
Mhm.
So it just depends.
So
I-
let
I'm
me
a-
ask you a question.
I'm very
How-
much a question asker.
So how do, say, D people in group, other group D and I, to build trust with you?
That's a good question. I think it's just being. I want to know that you're honest and sincere. Just be who you are and ask me questions. You know, um, the reason I ask a lot of questions, I do ask a lot of questions. That's why I don't know. Maybe that's why it puts me in the sea a little bit.
C, yes, C
But-
love asking question after question, digging, and then to the point where people like, okay, enough question.
Well, but my questions are more to get to know you, to get to know the situation.
Mhm.
So that I can, help you, or, or get you what you want in any situation. It doesn't have to be, a house. It can be, you want a project done, but I want it to be the way you want it done. So I need a few questions. What is in your head? So it just depends.
Do you
I'll go
feel you sometimes over accommodate?
Yeah, a little bit. I do, but it just depends. Now, if it's something I want done, then I just do it myself. And
Mhm.
You're gonna get what you're gonna get, because it's what I mean. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
if it's something you've asked for me, then of course I want what you want. I'll do it, and I'll do
Mhm.
it the way you want it. But you have to answer the question. And some people will get frustrated with that, because they'll say, if I have to answer all these questions, I might as well have done it myself. And I don't think that's entirely true. Because would you want me to do it 15 times to get what you want? Or do you want me to find out exactly what you want? Because if you just tell me what the picture looks like in your head,
Mhm.
I'll get the job done, and I'll do the work to get exactly that picture.
now
That's
you
two
see-
different things.
So now you see, if she was a realtor, and then as a realtor who have a type C, type S, they do ask a lot of questions and things like that for people to trust them. So that's your good attribute in being a realtor, that how to make people trust you. So I hope this is a good therapy session for you guys. anytime.
So we're just talking. I'm just gonna verify what you want us to talk about. Is that how we find things out, right?
Yes.
We're still on that.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I do the same thing. Internet will tell me a lot of stuff, and then
Mhm.
I do if I have to ask someone. What's hard for me though is that I'll listen to everything they say, but then I still question if they're correct.
Mhm.
So then I'll even go back again and try and verify what they're saying, because sometimes I don't believe people.
Mm.
So I do it a little more. And I had taken it once, and I was an SC, and then I took it again because I couldn't find it, and I was a CS. So I'm probably just both of those all the way. So that's all.
Okay.
So I got my result.
Uh-huh.
I got C as my disc type.
Okay.
I wish it was blended, but it's just true C.
Okay. So,
So
okay.
I am probably the person who would ask a lot of questions in the room.
Uh-huh.
I have a teaching background, so this is something I taught my students as well. Don't be ashamed to ask questions, but sometimes I'm ashamed to ask too many questions. And I think that's just my personality of just not liking ambiguity in things. Like, for example, in a group setting, when we're talking about like a team goal, I know that my mind immediately goes into like understanding my role, but also understanding like what are we all going to do? Like immediately start analyzing, this is what you should be doing, you should be doing, and I need to know exactly what I should be responsible for so we could like achieve the group share goal and things like that. And sometimes that's difficult for me. I guess I overburden myself sometimes because I should be more deliberate and focus on like my goal and what I have for myself, but instead I'll kind of overcompensate for like everyone else's like needs and criterias. And this goes out to some of like client interaction as well. I'll ask a lot of questions. My goal is obviously to understand what they want, but sometimes I think that stems from just insecurity of, or like not trusting my own gut feeling, or just running with ambiguity a little bit and just kind of evolving throughout the process. It's just like that perfectionist side of me sometimes wanting to know more and more, and maybe I need more info.
So
Yeah.
the thing is that now you know how you are,
Yeah.
right? When you talk it out, and now if you say you're interacting with a client, you interact with client like her, like me. You keep asking me question. What's gonna happen?
I will lose their trust or annoy them.
Yes. So understand yourself,
Yeah.
and then understand your client.
For sure.
So that's when you kind of have to then be self-aware and okay, maybe I need to stop asking questions, and then
That's true.
to keep that relationship going.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges that I'm facing entering this field, is learning that everyone has a different communication style.
Mhm.
And the quicker I figure that out and try to accommodate in my clients or anyone I interact with, it's just gonna make things so much smoother.
Right. And go ahead.
Um, as far as how I ask questions, I'm very
Mhm.
I ask questions with intent. I
Mhm.
want to know exactly how to get from A to Z. I don't
Mhm.
really care too much about the middle stuff. Um, I've probably asked Paul a million questions and Carolyn too, as to like, okay, where specifically should I go, and how should I do a specific thing? And all I need is the answer, and then everything else I'll figure out.
Right.
I don't like to waste time. Time is of the essence. We only have one life, so I try to get straight to the point as to my goals, my tasks, and what I need to accomplish in an orderly fashion, but not as long to me. As long as it gets done, it gets done.
Good. So see, now you hear from everyone, so you understand. I understand yourself, of course, and then but also understand a little bit of, say, if you're dealing with people in type DISC and how they prefer to be communicated, because we can't change the client, the other side, in a matter of a transaction. You can, but unlikely. So how we kind of just have to understand that, and then that will help. That's the whole purpose of this. And my next slide is about and how the conversation style. Like for example, you can see D and C. They like the close answer question, like, "Did you do this? Do you want me to do this? Do you?" But I and S will be like Timur asked, said earlier. What do you think? How do you want it? Why do you think you need this? So ask a lot of open-ending questions so that the other person have more expression instead of just a yes and no answer. But with D and C don't want a lot of, like he said, don't want a lot of middle whatever. Just want to know straightforward, yes, no, and then what's the end goal? How do I achieve that? And that's the difference. So and you can see actually in the real world that most of 90% of the population is I, S, and C. D is 10%. So when you 10% us talking to 90% of people, so a lot of time D is being misunderstood. So then because we're very, like I said earlier, very direct and to the angle, and we don't care about a lot about emotions. But I and S, you care about people more, and you want to understand what people's emotions are. You connect with people in that way, so that when D talking to you, you may feel like that's so abruptive. What question is that? What are they saying, right? So that's something when you're talking to D, then you try to connect with them emotionally. They don't really care. They like this is so frustrating having to listen to this. So when you it just have to I'm sorry ahead of time. But when you right, so when you talk to me, hey, I want this loan. How what's the number? Step one, step three. I'll tell you exactly what you need to do, how to get it done. So I'm a problem solver and get it done person. But when you know want me to sit down talk to you about your brother, your sister, your family, I'll talk to you a little bit. But then because I'm still have an eye, I still have high eye there. But someone with a lower eye, they really more matter of fact. They don't care any of that. So you want to understand that. So how when you so a lot of I know a lot of realtor. I've talked to a lot of like over 100 realtors. 90% of them high eye. So I guess the rest of the group can tell us how high eye or how you can communicate with high, how you prefer to communicate, so that high eye can effectively communicate more effectively. So
So in our organization, should I put a group in D's, I's, and S and C's? So when I communicate with them,
yes,
it's like, hey, I need this done now.
yes, that's what
I need this research.
right. So that's why when you talk, so I needs a lot of structure supposedly, and so you want to partner up with someone with the S to give you that structure and consistency. So say that if you do a mastermind or something or a group in the team, that you want that S to keep carrying. I has all these ideas. I want to do this, I'll do that. But then you want the S to carry out and the C to carefully plan things out, and then ask questions. And when C asking you questions, then start making you think, and then hope perfect whatever process and procedure and system that you're putting in place. So lastly, I want to say one quick example, so hopefully that leave with everybody to think and understand. So one day, a person giving a task to people who are D, I, and C, and people who are high D, before I even say, hey, we want to climb this mountain. D is already, oh, we climb that mountain. Okay, let's go. D is already on the way. And I is, oh, do you want to join me? Oh, like Paul saying, if you go five people trying to say, hey, we're gonna climb the mountain. Do you want to start hyping up? You're trying to gather all the people around to go climb the mountain. And then S, we're start asking, have you done this before? What is it like when you climb a mountain? And you see all these questions start having form in their head, and then start asking questions how and what and things like that. Why? And they want to feel secure and that they can trust this process. And C will then start preparing snack. What I need snack, I need water, I need everything in the sleeping bag, so that I want to prepare, so when I go up there I don't have any problem, don't make any mistake climbing. Do I need some kind of bug medicine or something? So while C is trying to prepare, S is asking question, I is halfway trying to gather people along the way, D is halfway. And then but the problem is D halfway found out, oh, I'm thirsty, oh, I'm hungry. And then D will then start trying to, then need C to come in and help out. So this is just saying that, we in every people around us, we need everyone to help us in our life. So, but understand, so not to place judgment on how everyone is, how D is so, gosh, you're so forceful, I don't like it. It's so direct, you hurt my feelings. But understand how D has no bad intention, but how high C, they want to prepare everything. So to understand that, and so that how you can then be aware of yourself first. That's most important thing. Be aware of you first, and don't place judgment on others, and then try to understand others as well. So there, that's my presentation. Thank you.
How much do Tamara and I owe you for our therapy session? No, seriously. This is cool. I get to do a presentation and I know where everybody is. I know how everybody listens to me, right? Like I get it. This is cool. We should do this every week. You know, come in, you wear the same color. That'd be bad. Okay. You gonna shut that off? Cool. But I am very excited to talk to you guys today about the future, and greatness is coming your way. Because really what I want to hit on hard today, and I want to share with everybody, is have a childlike faith. Have a childlike faith. I don't know what happens to us, Ken, but we're young. We think we can do whatever we want to do. And then we get old and we really get stupid, just being blunt. Because we start overthinking everything. We start worrying about everything. We start thinking we can't get it done. And that childlike faith that we had at one time just all of a sudden dies. I don't know where it dies, but it dies. But whatever you choose to do, have a childlike faith that it'll work out. Don't get too focused on everything that could come, might come. You didn't think that way when you were a kid, and yet you got everything. Think of all the things you did in your adolescence, from walking. Big deal, right? All of us in here are walking, but we kept trying. We never questioned it. We saw everybody else around us walking, and we thought, what? I should be walking. So I'm going to keep going till I walk. And that's what I love about what Daniel's put together, We Partners in EXP, is you have so many successful people, right? Just look at them and say, TC's an icon. If TC's an icon, I can be. Thank you. Only one person. If TC can be an icon, okay. So, I mean, that's the way you need to look at it. You saw everybody walking and you said, heck, I'm going to do it. You saw everybody eating, you figured it out. You weren't, your mom was feeding you at first, your dad was feeding you at first, but then you figured it out. You with me? Have this childlike faith inside of you. And unfortunately, we get so bogged down with the news and the bull crap. I haven't watched the news. I guess we're close to 20 years now, honey. And I just quit watching it. I had a guy in my life that said, hey, you need to quit watching the news. And I was like, how do you know? Clearly, he figured it out. And so I quit watching the news. And because it bogs you down with just absolute stupidity, right? Now you got to be careful nowadays because Facebook's turned into news and everything's turned into news. So be very careful. Be very cognizant of what you're putting in. Because in order to take over this opportunity, to take advantage of what I think is the ultimate advantage in EXP and We Partners, the only way to take advantage of it is for you to have this childlike faith that it's going to work for you. Like if it's going to work for Ken, it's going to work for me. Like I never questioned that. I was like, if someone was there and they were successful, it's going to work for me. It's like growing a business. I saw people growing a business and they were very successful. And I thought, well, if they can grow a business, I can grow a business, right? Just have this crazy childlike faith. Now I'm blessed. I had a mother who always believed in me. Okay. So if you haven't had that, get with somebody, get very close to somebody that believes in you and that will tell you you can do it. And don't let any other garbage don't let anybody speak any negativity over you. Only hang out with those that will believe in you, just like my mom believed in me. Because my mom was crazy. Me and my sister would joke and laugh. Like we could come home and tell her, hey, had a good day at school. I robbed the local convenience store and now I'm watching TV. And she'd be like, oh, at least you have your health. You know, at least you're good. You know, she just believed in us. And once I became a teenager, I took that to my advantage. And, you know, all my other friends were getting in trouble, but I wasn't because my mom would believe me. I was like, I wasn't doing that, Mom. I understand that y'all caught me with it, but that wasn't me. She was okay. I believe in you. I mean, but I know that's crazy to think about, but that belief she instilled in me carried over. And so I have made very sure in my life that I hang around people that believe in me. I'm very cautious of it. My best friend ever is a pastor. His name is Pastor Tim Goad. And I don't care what I tell him, he's going to tell me he believes in me. I don't care how bad I screwed something up. He's going to tell me he believes in me. So be careful. Always get those people around you. Okay. If you have any doubt whatsoever. Now here's the critic in the room. Someone's going to tell you they believe in you, and you're going to start to pick it apart. Why do they believe in me? I haven't done anything. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean you believe in me? Have you seen what a wreck my life is? You've lost your childlike faith. Have your childlike faith when someone speaks something into your life that you are that great. And I promise you, you'll become that great. Pastor Tim Goad, when he came to our old company and started consulting for us, he would walk around to everybody and say, boom, charge, I love you. Boom, charge, I love you. And there's a lot of people like, how does he love me? He just met me. And one person actually asked him that. He says, how do you, I don't get this. How do you say you love me? He says, it's easier for me to tell you I love you now. I might get to know you. You with me? So but I never questioned that, did I, Tamara? When he told me he loved me, I was like almost 6 foot tall. All right, man, he loves me. He's a pastor. He loves me. And I just went with it. If I can just urge you to do anything, go with stuff like that. Okay? Have complete faith. Have complete faith that the education and training we have here is the absolute best. And it will be the best. Y'all hear me? You believe it's the best, it will be the best. Now, I do want to say something about DISC, which fires me up about real estate. Fires me up about real estate. Everybody, D-I-S-C, can be successful in real estate. Everybody. Everybody can be successful in real estate if you're a D, if you're an I, if you're S, you're a C. The business Tamara and I came from, the business Noel and I came from, if you weren't a D or I, you were dying. You weren't going to make it. It was a very cutthroat, boom, boom, in your face. You got to sign right here, press hard. There's 3 copies, right? S's and C's like, no way, ain't doing that. I think S's and C's have a better advantage in real estate over D's and I's because they listen. They really, truly listen, right? And I think that's why they're gonna. I think that's what I love about real estate because I don't know about y'all, but this is a trick question. I want to be careful. I don't think we sell homes. I don't think we sell homes. Do y'all think we? I don't know. I don't think we sell homes because the customer wants to buy a home. I'm not selling that they want to buy a home. There's only one thing I'm selling. You know what that is? Me. I'm selling me. And yeah, and the solution for sure. But first I'm selling me that I know the solution, right? But I'm selling me first that I have the expertise, that I have the solutions for them. But it's me. And so that's why a C and an S, anybody can be successful in this bad boy, right? Okay, that was my training I wanted to do. Let's talk about, I met Daniel. And as he was talking to me, tell me your name again. Mario. Thank you, Mario. As he was talking to me, Mario, he was explaining some stuff to me. And as he was talking, I kind of, now that y'all know him and I went off into a different world. And actually, I'm doing it right now. And this is what I was seeing when he was talking to me. Okay. Has anybody not seen the cash flow quadrant? You have seen the cash flow? You have? Okay. Anybody else? She's the only one? Okay. So this is Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. And he talks about being an employee, self-employed, a business owner, and investor. Okay. And in 2005, a good friend of mine by the name of Fitz said, hey, I want you to read these 2 books. One was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the other was Cash Flow Quadrant. And my wife was there in that meeting, and she went and bought them for me. Changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. Because as I was reading it, I realized that I was all proud about being self-employed. I was really proud. I was like, I'm proud. I'm self-employed. I'm self-employed. Yeah, I'm self-employed. And that's not a good place to be because when self ain't working, self is unemployed. Y'all with me? At that very moment, self is unemployed. In fact, at that point, it's better to be employee. And so I was reading this book and I said, this isn't where I want to be. I want to be here. I want to be a business owner. See, to be a business owner, that means you can, well, I won't give you that definition just yet, but I want it to go from here to here. Now, there's nothing wrong with being self-employed, but the challenge is so many real estate agents think this is a business and it's not a business. It's not at all. Okay. Everything is counting on them. For example, let me give you some scenarios. If I own one home and I rent it out, okay, is that a business or is that self-employed? Self-employed? Any other takers? Only one person.
Depends how you have it structured.
Business. I didn't. No, I didn't. I gave you what I gave you. Business. I'm self-employed. I'm one house. I didn't say I had a management company. You D's were wanting some more information. I didn't have a I'm managing the property. Therefore, I'm self-employed. Okay. It's not passive income. Y'all with me? That is not passive. If I go away for 2 months, like my man Daniel did to Europe, and they have a clogged toilet or something, y'all feeling me now? I'm in charge of that. Not self-employed. What if I have 10 homes? Same thing. Thank you. I didn't add anything else in there. Same thing. But if I get a management company to come in there and take over, then I can go with Daniel and have some fun with him. I ain't answering phones about clogged toilets, right? In fact, I don't even care. Do not call me, as a matter of fact, when I'm here in Europe. Because where are we going in Europe? Switzerland? All right, we're going to Switzerland. I love Switzerland. One of my best runs ever was in Switzerland. God, I love that. I can feel it right now. I'm a long distance runner. I can feel the run right now as I'm talking to you. It's so crisp and beautiful. And this is that I in me that's telling y'all stuff that y'all don't need to hear right now. But dang, it's beautiful. You got to go run there. Okay, so I figured something out when I was reading that book. The reason I lost everything and went broke, and I had to tell my beautiful wife, hey, we can't live here anymore. This house is no longer ours. Okay, the house that you had picked out the colors, the house that you picked everything out, we got to move out, is because I wasn't here. Everything was depending on me. Okay, and I was like, that's never going to happen again. I'm building a business. So what I did, and this is an old business, I built it and went crazy. And we got several hundred people up to a couple thousand, and we were able to sell that company. You can't sell yourself. Y'all with me? When you're 65 years old, all right, I'm ready to sell me now. Does that work? It doesn't work. No one's buying you. In fact, well, the government's going to give me, Social Security, whatever, whatever, right? That's not. Come on now. That's not a retirement plan, right? This is. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. So as Daniel's telling me everything about this deal, he hit on a few things. One he talked about was KV Core, where we got leads, where I can bring in Noel and I can say, Noel, do me a favor, get all of your warm contacts in KV Core, let it get leads for you, let it do everything for you. You can post stuff to Facebook that can give you leads. You can post stuff to Craigslist to get you leads. You can get leads. Okay, you should have leads coming in very quickly if you do it. And then he mentioned something about education and training, which I love education and training. Okay. I got nothing against it. I'll bash on it and talk bad about it all the time. And I confuse people. And the reason I bash on it and beat up on it is because we're trying to over-educate as opposed to working on our self-image and our self-worth. Okay. Because you can educate yourself to death, but if your self-image and your self-worth stinks, it doesn't matter how much education you have. Anybody in here ever met a really, really good doctor? Like you, that's a good doctor. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Anybody here met a bad doctor? I got a lot more people giving me an amen for the bad versus the good. Y'all catch that? What's the difference? They both passed the same test. They both had the same residency. They both had the same amount of what? Education and training, right? What's the difference in the two people? It's their self-worth. It's their self-worth, their self-image, how they talk to people, how they make people feel. Okay. Do they give you confidence? It doesn't matter how much education and training you have if you don't give somebody confidence that you're confident, that you're competent, right? It absolutely doesn't matter. I'm going to separate you two. I don't ever do this to people out in the audience, but I'm doing it to my wife and my office manager, Carolyn, business partner. Okay. So education and training is vital to the success. But if you plug people in and say, oh, here's all the education and training, but you don't work on things like, hey, you know what? You matter. You're important. You're meant for greatness. You're meant to do great things. Like you need to hear that daily. And you know what? The disc people, the D people, we all think they don't need to hear it. They need to hear it the most. They need to hear it the most. Okay. Everyone will shy away from a D. No, a D needs to hear you matter. You're important. You're meant for greatness. You can do great things. Okay. Don't let them fool you with their cockiness. They need to hear it just as much as the I's, the S's, and the C's. Okay. But that's what you got to work on first. Then and only then can they take advantage of what Glenn Sanford has built for us with this education and training. Okay. Now I like to think, well, let me ask you a question. Anybody in here want to tell me their purpose or their why of why they're doing what they're doing? If it's teaching, tell me. If anybody want to tell me that? Turn your mic on. It's on. It's on.
My son.
Your son is your why. Tell me a little bit more.
I'm the example for him.
You're the example.
I'm the example. I want to be his hero. I don't need him searching outside of me to be that role model for him. I want to be everything to him.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, and this is a segue question, extra question from the I person. How do you think you do that?
Somebody actually commented on it earlier. Doing what I tell them I'm going to do, doing what I tell myself I'm going to do, and just showing up.
That's good. That's good. Anybody else want to share their why, their purpose? Anybody? I got some eyes over here. Come on, clearly, Tease. I know the eyes are itching. In fact, this side of the room, this side of the room is okay with it, but that side of the room is hoping the microphone comes over here. They're going to be jacked up, fired up, other than Angela in the back going, "Don't pass that back, TC."
Y'all are gonna judge me, but it's for myself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah. Who else are you gonna do it for?
Yeah.
You know, as we all have businesses, we all have people that we interact with, we all have people who have maybe set expectations of us, if that's little mouths that are looking at you to put food or things like that on the table at the end of the day. And I'm a runner, so that's why I gave you a nod to the running in Switzerland. But we should do things for ourselves, and my why is myself, because if I don't do it, if I don't have my why be me, then nobody well, you may have people help you may have people assist, but at the end of the day, your lungs are going to be breathing to keep you alive, right? You can be this is getting philosophical, but for myself, yeah,
Good.
at the end of the day, for myself.
TC, anybody? Why, purpose? No?
Well, like most of us, our wives, our family, our legacy, right? We live and be an example for our children, and sometimes those around us. You're an example to me. I love how you are. And you make people feel great. You elevate those that around you, and that's the trait that I'm learning from you, and I appreciate you, Paul.
Oh man,
thank you.
I'm done with my presentation. Y'all go do what y'all want to do today. He filled me up. I'm good. See y'all later. But really, your why is not much different than his why. Yeah. My mom's why. My mom's why was to get a college degree and open her own practice as a psychologist, right? And so she wasn't around much, but for me and my sister, that's why I got involved in drugs and did some stupid stuff. That's not why I'd have done it with her there. I'm not gonna blame it on her, but she was doing that for herself. But she gave me a PhD in life because I watched her do it, right? So I don't think y'all are too far off. Anything we're doing, you just went from a different angle. Someone's watching. Someone's watching. Whether it's a child, whether it's a mother, whether it's a sister or brother. Oh, my wife wants to talk. This is good. Oh, yeah. We know the people online can't hear you. People online.
I'm not trying to correct you, but just from what I see, I think your mom's why was being told she couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it also doesn't have to be for like you're doing for yourself, which is, I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's selfish, but I think like for me being told I can't, what are you doing that's stupid. I think we were told that, believe it or not, of doing this.
Yeah.
So and so he's going to definitely prove everybody that said that wrong.
Yeah.
So I think, is that still, do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's, at the end of the day, as long as everybody knows when they get out of bed, I got to get this done today because of this. And they don't have to subconsciously say that to themselves. Then they do. have to subconsciously say it to themselves. Barely graduate high school, Mario, so bear with me. But it's just automatic, right? It's automatic. My mom didn't say, okay, well, today I'm going to go out and, no, she was automatic. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to open my private practice, and the hell with everybody else, but at the same time, she raised me into being successful and all that stuff. So if you have those things, then you got to break it down to what is it that you want? What goals do you have here? Okay. This is vital to your success to take the education and training to the next level. Because I'm not kidding you. We have the best education training in the world, but if you don't know why, then stop and evaluate why, figure out why, right? Understand why. Because then you won't have to be told to do this. Like right now, people will call me up on my team and they'll ask me questions like, no, man. Like I don't call Daniel and say, hey, where should I get some education and training from? I go get it. I know it's here. I can call Tina and ask her if she's bad to the bone, right? I don't figure it out because I know why I want to do this. And because I know why I want to do this, I can take advantage of all the education in the world and other people can't, right? Am I getting somewhere with that? Okay. Because I love education training has to happen. Like I want my doctors trained. I want my pilot trained. That's important. Pilot needs to be trained. Don't get me up there in the sky worried about stuff. Of course, I don't fly near as much as I used to, so we're good. I'm kidding. I shouldn't have said that. Number 3, and this one really touched my heart, is everybody in here has the ability to be an owner in this company. Everybody in here has the ability to be an owner in this company. Starting day one. It's your choice. It is absolutely your choice. And there's 5 ways you can earn equity in this company. And by the way, they're all your choice. It doesn't matter your skin color. It doesn't matter what language you speak. None of that matters. You got 5 opportunities, and you can take advantage of all 5 if you choose to get equity in this company. That's big. I know a lot of people that are retiring, going off from their sunset years, and they got nothing, right? Glenn's like, we can't have that. Someone told me once that Glenn noticed that real estate agents don't save money. And when I heard that, I was like, that's salespeople, car salespeople, insurance salespeople, you name it. They don't save no money. Glenn goes, I don't want that on our watch. We don't want people to make a lot of money while they're here and they got nothing. And I want them to be part owners in this company, because when you get a bunch of people that are part owners in this company, guess what? They're loyal. You want to build a team here? Get everybody on your team participating in the equity. They ain't going nowhere. Let's build this thing together. Not, oh, Glenn's going to get all the money. No, we're going to build this thing together. That excited me. The last business that I sold, Judy, I sold it, and the people that helped me get there didn't get equity in the company. There's no possible way for them to be given equity. How Glenn has pulled this off, God bless him, right? How he got us to go public, I wasn't here during those days, God bless him, right? That was a major move on his part to get this thing to go public, to where people like you and I can participate in the ownership of this company, okay? And then number 4, the one that really just sent me over the edge, and this is when I texted my pastor under the table so my man didn't think I wasn't listening to him. But now that I know he's a high eye, he wouldn't have paid attention to me if I'd have pulled the phone out and done it right in front of him. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. But I texted my pastor under the table, and I said, I found it in capital letters when he started talking about revenue share. Well, Mario, you can come into this business day one and start bringing people into the business, and you get some of the revenue. You share the revenue. You share the revenue of what they bring in. You with me? Now, I'm talking to a lot of folks in here in the room that are kind of new, and I want to say this. The newer you are, the easier it is to get people here and share in the revenue. The newer you are, the easier it is just to invite someone, Angela, and say, hey, come on in, do this business with me. We're going to have some fun, and you get to share in the revenue. Now, that's opposite of what I know a lot of people on this side of the room think and back there, because you're thinking you got to be the expert and you got to be a great real estate agent. You got to do a lot of transactions before. Am I right? Anybody want to be honest with me? Ken, you want to be honest? Do you think you need to learn a lot more before you start doing revenue share? You're in there. Good. I like that, Ken. Way to go. Most people are like, well, you already have real estate experience. Let's say you have zero. You're like me. You came in here a year and a half ago. You're brand new. Don't even know how to spell real estate. Would you bring people in immediately, or would you learn how to do real estate first? Yes, Ken. Yes, exactly. It's the easiest and best time because you get to play stupid. Well, how do I do this? I'm being serious. Y'all don't laugh at me. I don't know. But guess what? There's a lot of people around here walking. And if they're walking, I can walk. Are y'all with me? They're walking, I can walk. I don't got to say, well, when can I start walking? No, they're walking, I'm going to walk. Right? So same exact thing. I don't need to be great here. I don't need to understand everything here to invite somebody to come in. Why? Because there's Ken, he's walking. TC's walking. I don't have to. Scribner's walking. I don't got to worry about it. Judy's walking. Look at all the people walking. Just come on in. Everybody's walking. We can all do this. Don't complicate what I just told you, because some of you are critiquing me right now going, oh, it's much harder. They ask harder questions. When you say, they can't ask any more harder questions. You are completely 100% done. Tamara will vouch for this. Back in our old business, I would hire an appointment scheduler, and the appointment scheduler knew nothing about the business we were in. Frank knew nothing about the business we were in. Nothing. And I'd say, here's what I need you to do. I need you to call these people, tell them I'm going to be in that area on these 2 days, and fill up my calendar. Told her nothing else. All right, Tamara? Told her nothing else. And I'm telling you, the first 3 to 4 weeks, they'd have 20 appointments every single freaking week. Boom, 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 boom. And I knew it was coming. They're starting to decline. Do y'all know why they start to decline? They start getting less. Don't you answer. Don't they start getting less appointments for me? Does anybody know? They started learning about the business and answering questions. Golly. And so they're answering questions to the customer. They still don't really know the answers because they haven't done what I'm doing, right? And there's no third-party validation. I was the third-party validation. My appointment schedulers say, Paul Roberts is great at this. He'll take care of you and your family. That's all they need to say. But then the customer asks a question, is this, I can't even remember the name of our products. Oh, thank you. Is this term, UL, whole life? And she would start answering. Before she wasn't answering it. She'd be like, and she set the appointment for me. You with me? All you got to do here is, if you're brand new, is say, hey, I got this man, Daniel Ng, incredible man. Absolutely incredible. You're gonna fall in love with him, I promise you. But he understands the business, and he understands what we're doing more than anybody else. Can I just schedule an appointment with you? We talk to him for a couple minutes? You go with that? He's got 20 years experience. Okay. He's got 20 years experience. That means you can have what? Zero. Literally. But I don't know how to build the team. I want to start building some infrastructure before I build it. I want to get a website before I build a team. I want to get a business card before I build a team. No, you don't need any of that. Start building the revenue share today, because you got Daniel Ng that can help you, because he's got 20 plus years experience. Now, here's where you will falter. When you don't value Daniel Ng in that conversation, when you don't build Daniel up, and all you say is, hey, this guy Daniel, he'll talk to you. You've given Daniel no platform. You need to put Daniel way up here on this platform, and we're way down here. You put him up there, all he has to do is take pixie dust and sprinkle it, and that person's going to listen. Okay, Mr. Daniel, I'll sign up today. I'm serious. That happens all the time. If you just build up, that's the way it works. Who in here wants to build an asset like that? Zero. I've given you a business that you can. Frederick, what's his first name? Not Gene. Not Frederick. We had Rob Flick. God bless you. Rob Flick has made $40+ million in revenue share. Okay. Who wants to start building that today with zero experience? Because you can. Because all you got to do is invite. You just got to be a great inviter. That's it. Hey, can you just, I need you to meet Daniel Ng. He's a great man. If you don't know Daniel, come to me. I'll tell you what to say about Daniel. I'll help you with that. If you don't understand how to express yourself talking about Daniel, come to me. I'll help you do that. Okay. and you can start building an asset. Who in here would like to have an asset and over a couple years or over so many years it's worth $40 million, right? Not bad. I did this exact same thing in the insurance business. This is way better though, way better, because here D's, I's, S's, and C's can do it, versus over there we had a small group that could do it, right? This business over here, because it's net. When you get the money, it's net. So you don't even understand what I'm about to say about chargebacks. They're painful, very painful. You think you got this coming, and all of a sudden you realize you ain't got that coming. You actually negative. Okay, we don't have that over here. We have net here. That $40 million, that's in his bank account, and it ain't ever coming out. You with me? If you built a business, y'all should be saying yes with me. Like, that's good. That's really, really good. Okay, so you earn revenue share by just inviting people in. A lot of times people want to know how much money do I make when I bring Mario in? Don't worry about that. Okay, don't get focused and hung up on that. What I need you to do, let's find out about Mario. Let's learn about Mario. What's his favorite color? What does he like to do? What are his hobbies? What's his why? Why does he want to do this? Right? My school teacher. Like, why did you become a school teacher? That's okay. Why did you become a school teacher? You wanted to make an impact on people's lives because your teacher. See, these are the things I need. That's more important, TC, than how much am I going to make when she does a deal? Y'all see the difference? The difference is magnified. Let's find out about it. How many kids do you have? No kids? How many kids have you taught over the years? Students. 600-700. So you've impacted 600 to 700 people. Do you got any favorite sports? Tennis. How long have you been playing tennis? Or do you watch tennis? You play? Yeah. For hobby? Did you play for the high school team? Oh, cool. How all 4 years? You joined the field hockey team. Like, who wants to know about that? I want to know about that, right? Do you see the importance of getting to know somebody? Why did you join field hockey?
My parents wanted me to lose weight, and I don't know, they just.
So it was a negative thing, but did you turn it into a positive thing? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun. I love whacking balls with wooden stick.
She's in the cautious category. She wants to whack a ball and hit somebody. Woo! Very competitive, yes. Yeah, my wife is too. She'll freak you out. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from? Yeah. So did you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born in Seoul, Korea, but I was raised in New York City pretty much my whole life.
Okay. How old were you when you were in New York City?
7.
7? Brothers, sisters? None. Only child. Okay. What was that like?
It's good. I got all the love and support. I guess I didn't have to share, but there were some moments when I wish I had another sibling to take on the pressure.
Yeah. You might need to sneak her up in the D aisle. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to share nothing. It was all mine. God bless you. Well, thank you for sharing. And that's how you build. That's it. But I'm not a leader. Can you ask her questions and be genuinely interested? Now, if you're not genuinely interested in her, then don't ask her questions. But who got genuinely interested in her? Raise your hand. Now that you know her, but check this out. Watch this. Now that you know her, who in here would love to have her on your team? Everybody in the room. Now that you know her, how much more do you want to know about her? You see what I'm saying? No, this is human psychology. This is the way we are as people. It's just we just gravitate that when we start to get excited, and then when you get excited about somebody, you work harder for them. Just me going over to TC's house and him introducing me to his family, I wanted to do more for him. Seeing Daniel with his father, who in here seen Daniel with his father come up here? Who wants to work harder for Daniel when you see that? You're damn right. You're like, okay, I'm dropping everything. This man's too good. This man's great the way he takes care of his family. Y'all with me? Isn't that better than knowing, well, how much did I make off of them? Because the numbers will work themselves out. I need you to take a deep breath. You're going to get stupid rich here. Just put that over here. That's over with as long as you keep inviting people. That's simple. Okay? Because people want to help people. Bottom line. I used to tell my daughters, and I'm not just my daughters, I used to tell them everybody, human nature is to take care of another person. Now, we live in a world where it doesn't look that way, especially on social media. Everybody's fighting. But human nature is to help everybody. And I've said this for years, way before this incident ever happened. But I've always said that, have you ever noticed in a car wreck how everybody runs to the car to take care of the person? You ever notice that? Did any of them go, is he a Republican or is he a Democrat? Is he black, white, or Mexican? I need to know before I go help. Has anybody ever done that? You just see a bunch of people running to another human being to help them. That's human nature. Don't let the news fool you. Don't let the world fool you. That's what it is. Well, my daughter, our oldest daughter, got in a car accident. Flipped upside down. Was hanging in by her seatbelt. Trying to figure out where she was. Finally came to and looked up, and there was a Mexican gentleman there. And she says, Dad, you were right. It didn't matter. That was this little white girl here. She didn't matter. The first one on the scene was this Mexican gentleman. He didn't go, hey, what color is she, before I help. Do y'all understand that's human nature, and that's who we are as people? And the moment you understand that, you'll get to know people better, and you'll start asking better questions and understand who they are and realize they can be your friends for life. The relationships that you will build by doing this is the most absolute amazing thing in the world. And oh yeah, by the way, you're going to get rich at the same time. But first focus on the relationships. First focus on helping people. First focus on getting to know people. Because once you get to know them, you will work way harder for them. Y'all with me? Okay, I went real deep today, sorry. But that's how you go from S to B, because when you're in B, then you can leave the business and the business still grows. Just like my man Daniel, he goes over to Europe last summer. Are you going this summer too?
I just discussing that today.
See, I can't wait till he comes and says, hey, I'm going to go for 3 months. And then my goal is going to be able to help this business grow so much while he's gone. Now, TC's going to help me, because we want to say, hey, look what happens. When you own a business, you come back and your business is 3 times, 4 times bigger, right? That's what owning a business is all about. But is it really a business, or is it a bunch of relationships? Which one is it? Both. Yeah, it really is. It's just building a bunch of relationships. I mean, I get to do this journey with Daniel now. You know, I was interviewing John Sy the other night, and what I told him was this. I feel like I've been reading this great book about the founding people of the EXP, and great people like Gene Frederick and what he did to get to where he got to, Brent Gove, where he got to, Cliff Freeman, what he did to get here, Daniel Ng, what he did to get here. It's like I'm reading a great book, but now I'm in the book. I'm on the journey with him. I'm in the relationship with him. Daniel introduced me to Brent, introduced me to Gene, Cliff, all these great people. I got all these great relationships. Who wants that, right? Who do you want to show up at your funeral? You want one person? Or you like a lot of people saying, hey, he lived it to the fullest. He did everything possible. He got to know me, okay? Okay, so that's how you can build a crazy business here. Now, real quick, Mario, do you have a real estate license? You've done real estate? Yes? Who are you with right now?
Texas Senator Realty.
Okay, so over in our world here is you go out and you're on an 80%, so you earn 80% of the 3%. I'm horrible with math, so I'm not going to get too crazy into this. But let's say you sell a home for $500,000. 3% of 500,000 is what? 15,000. 15,000 is the commission. You get 80% of that. Okay, so that means you get $12,000. You do that 5 or 6 times, do 5 or 6 more transactions, you're on 100%. Okay. That me and Tamara were talking about that coming in today. Like that, how cool is that? Like everybody on my team can get to 100%. Everybody on my team can get to 100%. And it doesn't take anything away from me. I can encourage people to get to 100%.
Or more.
Thank you. I was going to get there in a second. Thank you. but you see what I'm saying? Like get to 100%. Why not? See, in my old business, it kind of was like, well, did you look at me funny? You know you hit the goal I told you to hit, but you had a bad attitude, bro. So I ain't giving you the 100. Has that happened in EXP? Someone had a bad attitude? No, you can't do that. You have the ability to get to 100%, everybody. Now, here's the beauty of it. You get to 100% when you have this thing called, well, it's called capping, but when you, no, not 20,000, 16,000. I told you I was bad at math, Mario. My man Daniel will come clean this up in a little bit. But when you put $16,000, that 20% that you're putting in, so over here it would be $3,000. 15 from 12 is 3, right? So when you put 16,000 in this bucket, if you will, right? Oh, never mind, never mind. That's when you go to 100%. Sorry. That's when you go to 100%. I almost did it again. That's when you go to 100%. But if you do 20 more transactions, you get this $16,000 back in stock. That's why she said plus. Because if they buy your stock at $11 and it goes to 13, now you're at 100% plus contract. You're not at 100% contract, 100% plus. Y'all with me? That's pretty cool. That's something worth fighting for, right? No? You and I didn't have this in our old business. Yeah, not at all. I mean, this is amazing. Like, oh my God, this is like free money. Like, if you don't see this as free money, I know TC does because he hits Icon all the time. But if you don't like see this as free money, come talk to me and I'll do some math for you. Y'all saw how good I'm at it. I'll let you know it's free money. Y'all with me? Okay. So I hope I didn't do any damage on the math numbers and you're okay there. But here's why I love this more than anything. It's what we've put together here with We Partners. This is our Leadership Wednesday where we come together. And we had Jasmine up a couple of weeks ago. She never wanted to speak. She got up here and she talked. If you want to grow as a person, we want to help you grow as a person. That's my passion. That's my goal, is to get people to grow. And I'd love for you to come train. The person that's out there that's the most nervous right now to train, that's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the person, well, I'm a good speaker. I know how to do everything. I ain't interested. I'm interested in the person that says, I'm scared to death. Angela, you scared to death? Come up here and train. You're not, are you?
Yes.
Are you? So Angela is a perfect candidate. Who else in here is scared to death? Come up here and train. Angela's gonna be the only one that admits it. You know how this works. You don't have to go to church on Sunday. Everybody else does because they're all lying. Most people are scared that it's the biggest fear in life. Fear of public speaking. That's weird. They'd be like, Angela, come on up. No, you pop a cap in me. Am I right? Nah, just shoot me. No, that's the number one fear coming up here. But when we can help you overcome it in this environment, you will change as a person when you're out there talking to customers. Everything changes. Your vocabulary changes. The way you approach people changes. The way you talk to people, everything changes. Okay? So I appreciate y'all putting up with me. Thank you, Judy, so much for the disc test. It was so cool to understand all that and dominance and all that stuff. It's dominance. That's not the right word, is it?
Yeah.
It is? Okay, cool. I want to make sure. But the great thing is, if you look in history, you can look at great presidents that were S's and C's and I's and D's. You can go back and look in the history of great leaders, amazing leaders that were D's, I's, S's, and C's. So thank you so much for doing that for us. And we usually get together and dial. We're not doing that today because today we got us a party, right, Daniel?
Yes.
We got us a crawfish bowl. And my man Daniel wants to come over here. They got a brand new thing that we've rolled out. And I think you'll be very interested in it, especially if you want to do the building thing, because he's going to explain co-sponsorship and how it works. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So he's going to explain how this works. Noel, pay attention. Don't leave me. All my D's, pay attention. He's going to give you some good stuff. My S's and C's are going to take notes. But and then I'm going to steal y'all. And I'm going to steal y'all's notes. But do me a favor. This man is incredible. He gives of his time. He's got so much energy. He constantly is constantly working. But it's not work to him. To him, it's helping people. To him, it's helping lift up people, to make their lives better, to make their situations better. He wants to help 3 generations of people. That means he's going to help generations of people that he will not know. He will not personally know. Y'all with me? But he wants to help 3 generations of people. Let's jump on that wagon with him and help him get there. Is that cool, y'all? Help me welcome Mr. Daniel Ng.
All right. I'm going to pass this out to you guys. You guys can pass that back that way. Okay. All right. Every week we kind of share this chart. I always put it up here. For me, it is understanding math, right? Because the math doesn't lie. And when you understand how this model works, how the company divvy outs the revenue and how they operate. So, for those that are new, I mean, I think the main thing is, we operate in the virtual world. We understand operations is there, right? So who doesn't I want to make this more interactive. So I'm going to have Tina.
Yep.
Can you explain this?
Yes.
What does this mean?
Opportunity.
Okay. So when you do production, you know, you hit your 20%, 80%, you hit your $16,000 cap, right? That's what you paid into the company. What does the company do with that $16,000?
Well, thankfully with EXP, they share that $16,000. 50% of it goes back to their agents.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of companies would just keep that in-house.
Okay. So 50%, so 16,000, half of that is 8,000. Okay. So that's what that number is in your chart. So what do they do with, how do they divvy it out? So if you did 16,000, 8,000 is the number. What do they do with this 8,000? How does it get shared? How many levels?
I look at it as a thank you
Okay.
to the agents that help grow.
Okay.
You know, some people would say it's a referral fee, but I look at it as a thank you.
Okay.
So they take that out $8,000, and Daniel, thank you for being a part of this company, and for that, whoever brought you on, I'm going to thank you for that.
Okay.
And then they thank people down. Thank you who brought, thank you who brought, thank you, and it's just.
And it goes 7 levels.
And it goes 7 levels of
Okay.
thank yous.
Correct.
basically.
So it's not a pyramid where it just keeps on going
No,
because
it's-
the math only goes 7 levels.
Right.
So this $8,000 gets divvied out 7 levels. So if you were here, Tina, right, and you brought in Sally. So what's unique about our company? We're one corporate company. We're in 27 countries, meaning you can grow your team nationwide and globally. So if Sally's in New York, she comes in because your influence, and she's a capping agent. She does $150,000 a year. We know that from her previous transactions. We can kind of say that, okay, it's gonna come in around 8,000. The math is 17.5%, which is $1,400. And if Sally brought in, who do I have next? Tom. Tom comes in. That's your tier 2. Tom's a producing agent. We know we get 20% of that. That's 1,600. Tier 3, Susie or Lisa. Okay, that's your tier 3. Same thing. So that's the constant is here. This can change because depending if they're producing or not, right? But now that when you do the math here, if you bring on these partners in, right, you have a potential or more or less to make that revenue. And this is cash. This is not the equity portion, right? So that's why when we share about just inviting, like with you, I didn't invite you. I sent you the information, but actually Derek connected us yesterday. So Derek is a friend of mine and just say, hey, you should meet this person. And that's it. She came and I haven't explained anything. I just said invite. And then as a new agent, if she has time to come to the event, great. You get to meet more people. And that's what I told you yesterday. It's like, hey, just meet more people. You're new in the industry, things like that. So, but with this is very powerful because you can build passive income. And, Tina, I know that you know this as well, is, when Paul was saying what happens when we're not here, right? I'm here also, right? I have a timeline. When God takes me home, whenever that day is, what happens to all this that we're doing? It's willable to our family. And this is very powerful, why we're building up a network, right? Not just for the money portion, but actually for the people. So if you're building up a network for your future, if you don't have children yet, maybe your nephew or whatever you have, right? You can build that up for them. We're building a network of people. So I met with somebody this week on Monday. Seems like their son is possibly gonna partner up with us. But same thing, legacy. He's teaching the son to be in the real estate development side, but at the same time, there's a whole platform they can do more, right? So, but that is that. And on the next side is co-sponsor. And this is what I'm really excited about. And if you're not excited about this, it's on the screen there, but you have it on your piece of paper. I should give you this. There we go. So this is cool because you can be here, and that's your upline. So say John is in New York, but we're in Dallas. You're not licensed in New York, but we can find another leader in EXP. It doesn't have to be in your organization, right? You can find another leader in EXP to support your friend in that market, and that's how you're going to grow. So this is very powerful. So for those that are, I'm new, I don't know anything, well, you can find your superhero. I call these superheroes because these are the leaders that are supporting their team already. They have a brick and mortar. They have culture, right? Because people join people. So now you can start building down with this other leader. Paul can work with Brent Gove directly and bring people on. If you're a stronger leader, you could be that co-sponsor. So you might be on this side where you're supporting somebody else. So on a business aspect, I can be a recruiter for all these leaders myself. I can start just marketing as like, hey, I got somebody. Can you connect? So there's so many ways to look at it. The main thing is support for your group, right? Because not everyone has a We Partners. Not everyone has a Tina Call. Not everyone. So because people just like the program, they like EXP, they join, but then they realize, oh, maybe they're missing something. Well, now you don't have to miss anything because now you can bring on a leader into your organization. So you don't have to leave and stuff like that.
How hands-on does that then require you to be with them if you have a co-sponsor?
It's a business decision. You need to talk to this co-sponsor, ask them, do you do coaching every week? Do you do a in-person meeting? Do you do a barbecue cookout once a month? Whatever it is, you need to know what they're doing. Because there's so many people you can partner up with different people with, right? So it's not like you're just choosing one co-sponsor. I'm talking to like 40 people right now around the country, asking them what they do, what is their why, what's and when I talk to other people, I get to feel like, oh, this person might be a good fit because they kind of relate with you, right? I don't know who tier 5, tier 4, who's that gonna be, but I can control who I bring on directly, right? So,
and I think the answer to that is just like we discovered the different pros and cons, right? So that person on either side has different personality traits or different needs that they may need. You may have somebody in New York you're bringing on, and man, they need hand-holding. But you may bring somebody else over from New York, and they're a D. Look out, get out of their way. They're ready to go. They don't need anybody. They just want to join.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't need a co-sponsor.
But like they may want to know people that align with to kind of be in their tribe in the area, so to speak.
Yeah, because you can recruit directly, attract directly, and then at the same time as this person can find a co-sponsor. So there's going to be a lot of it's basically everyone's going to mingle together. There's not going to be siloed groups anymore in EXP. So this is actually going to take our company from being at 90,000 agents to 250,000. I think my projection within the next 2.5 years. I feel like yes.
So do you sign up simultaneously, or can someone be on your team already?
So from the FAQ that I read yesterday, it's within 5 days. So after you join EXP, it's within that 5 days that you have to do that. If you join February 24th this year and afterwards, you can actually get a co-sponsor. You can't do it beforehand. So I've been reading a lot of detail. A lot of people have been asking me a lot of different things. So that's why when Paul was saying, ask me, because, I don't know if that's I'm a very low S&C, but for some reason, because of all this, I need all the information. Yes.
Sorry, I do have
No, it's good.
So whenever I talked to Paul originally about the opportunity here, I was in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yep.
Before taking my licensing exam, I had to do a sponsorship, but I couldn't do it for here because I wasn't in the state of Texas.
Correct.
I had to choose one that was in Ohio.
Correct.
Would that still follow suit now moving forward, or is that something where
you're always tied to Paul? Doesn't matter what state you're in.
Okay, so like if I bring in somebody new, let's just say from Ohio.
Yeah.
I'll just walk them through the same.
So you can be here, and if you want to bring them on from Ohio, you can directly. If you feel like this is a new agent and we have no support, we don't have the parties, we don't have the events, you can opt in to add a co-sponsor, find a leader in that market to support your friend if you need that. So co-sponsor is an option. It is not mandatory, but it's a very smart option for growth. It's a very smart option for retention. Because you have to understand, why do people leave the industry or leave the company? It's not because of the usually it's not because of the company. It's just because it's just hard to be in this industry, right? And they don't have that mindset. They don't learn about the DISC profile, because this is very important in our business. Negotiations, learning how to deal with, talking to an engineer, like they want every detail. And if you're a high I, bring on that, that other S&C partner with you so they can help with that,
So say Noel was in Ohio like he was, and he
Yeah.
had like Paul set him up with the co-sponsor, but then he moved like you did, and he was only there a month or two. Can you co-sponsor someone? No.
So with the co-sponsorship, it's case by case. So say you stayed in Ohio, and we did have a co-sponsor for you at that time, and the co-sponsor was in Ohio, but now you moved to Texas. So that might be a scenario where corporate has to, and all three parties has to agree, where you can find another co-sponsor in that market wherever you move to. That's the only time they're gonna look at it. No guarantees, but that was in that little FAQ. They said that it's case by case, but it'll be a scenario like that. Yeah. Or if this co-sponsor left, right? If your co-sponsor left, can you find another co-sponsor? Those are another things where they will look at.
Can the primary ever change?
Primary can't change, and the only way to change primary is you have to leave the company 12 months now. They moved it up from 6 months to 12 months because of this.
And again, you can do your business regardless of who your sponsor is, and you can do your business regardless of who your co-sponsor is. It's just who told you about that Mexican restaurant that you absolutely love and you go to now.
Yeah.
You can go to that restaurant as many times as you want or never, or you can
Yeah.
take as many people to that restaurant as you want, right? But the original person is who told you about that restaurant, right? That's
Yep.
kind of like,
Yeah, so that's
your
the
original
in theory the best. The person who knows John is the one that is the primary. There are going to be cases. I have a case right now where I switched it, where the Caesar and his daughter was supposed to come in with Tina, but the daughter really likes Tina and what Tina's upline has with the fast forward movement with what cow whistle and all them. They have like 15,000 people. So we switched where Tina is the primary and the daughter came in, and then Caesar is here. And I knowingly that any growth that Ingrid has won't come back up to me. I won't have revenue.
but they did that when they signed up.
They did that when they signed up, correct? But it was a option I gave them, and I said it was okay, because it's not about me being greedy. Because if I was greedy, I was like, no, you got to be primary, you got to, But I didn't. I told them it's your choice, and I let the daughter figure that out. So another thing is, now I got all of Tina's stuff into Caesar. Anything that Caesar's learning, he can bring it back to We Partners. It's like, hey, they're doing this here. Here's the stuff. We get. It's gonna get better and better. So next year coming around, imagine like you're at a F1 Formula with the shirts and all the sponsors. We're gonna have all the groups like all connected together. That's how I look at it. So, our We Partner shirts. I'm gonna have like whoever gets sponsored by or co-sponsor, you're gonna have their name, and it's just gonna get bigger and bigger.
Trade pins at the next EXP.
Yeah. So, but the main thing is, I wanted to show you how we operate, and it's really important to share this. And don't do it on the first setting sometimes, unless they need it. But really is broker support. It's amazing how our company operates in this little virtual world. So, for those that don't go in here to use it, you're paying for it already. This is how we operate in this little virtual world. And I had agents yesterday contact me, try to figure out what to do. So you have these avatars, you have a front desk. If you have a question, you have pull a question here. And I'm not going to pull it, but
There you go.
so basically, your brokers are W-2 employees. Yes.
Sorry, Daniel. I had a question on
Yeah.
the first page
Yeah.
of this capping.
Yep.
What's the yellow bonus tier 1? I didn't get that.
All right. That's good. So everyone sees this tier 1 bonus. So last year when they revamped this and then mid-year they said, hey, we're going to add a bonus to it now. So if you recruit somebody today and they're your tier 1, and that agent within 12 months caps, you get this 50%. So 8,000, right? Half is the rev share. Instead of the 17.5%, you're actually getting 50% of that. So you get $4,000. So if you recruit 10 people this year or next year, whatever it is, and they cap, that's $40,000.
So their first year.
The first year,
if they
yes,
cap.
if they cap. And then the next year go back down to the 17.5. Because there's and the reason why the company can give out an extra bonus is because we have a net income. We're still profitable. We can give those extra bonuses. So yeah, so it's important, you know, and that pushes us to recruit more. But wanted to kind of share, like Rick Snow, I don't know if he's coming. One of the brokers are coming today to the event, but Pamela is the agent. They're in this little box. They're talking to each other, and that's how we get support in this. So that's how we can cut the cost. So a lot of people don't understand, like, well, how can EXP give equity? How can they give revenue? Because we move our operations and stocks all into the metaverse, and we operate here. There's 2,500 employees that, if you look at it as a business, they work for us. They work for you. You have 2,500 employees servicing the company to work for you, work for your team, and that's what Paul shares. When he saw that, he got it right away. He realized, like, wow, this is powerful. And you know, and we're always improving how we share it. The next time is as duplication. You guys need to share this. You know, you guys have to have your own events. Like on Fridays, I think there's like 4 coffee meetups that people are doing now. So it just gets better and better and better. We're about 271 people. Adding another one in Peru today. The group in Peru is on fire. They're doing their first meetup next week. So maybe itch to go fly down there, but we'll see. But yeah, so that's it. Please keep this. Don't just keep it. Actually write it down. And if you get stuck with the math, let me know. Because in order for duplication to happen, you have to understand it too. Or you need to know somebody that understands it. But once you understand it yourself, guess what? You're going to be more confident, right? Because people aren't confident if they don't know how to say it. Or you bring somebody on, right? You can bring me on. You can bring Paul on. Well, I don't know about Paul. You were explain this. But that's it. Thank you. 4 o'clock is the crawfish.